Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. A balmy 10 degrees right now here in the Ozarks, but we are supposed to get around 32 degrees. We may even break above freezing today. But then we have a bunch of snow coming in tonight, 3-5 inches, depends on which weatherman you listen to. Weatherman, man, am I sexist or what? Weather individual or something, I don't know. This fire's out in California. My goodness, they are absolutely it's mind-boggling to see. And it's happened so fast. It was just a couple of days ago, there were warnings out for wind, extremely dangerous winds. And then before you know it, you've got these wildfires. I was reading that one of the first fires that started, or watching a video that it started off, it was 10 acres burning, and within about 12 minutes, it became 200 acres. I can tell you from personal experience, that is insane. That's absolutely insane. For 10, 12 minutes, it goes, from 10 acres to 200 acres. There's not really anything that's going to stop it at this point. It's just going to have to burn up the fuel. Or the weather's going to have to dramatically change. But as long as the conditions are the way they are, unfortunately, and they're saying it's probably the most devastating fire now in American history. They were talking about it being the most devastating fire in LA history, and now it's becoming the worst fire in American history. It's definitely historic. It's awful because there's, that it destroys so much. Fires like this, there's nothing left here. It's burning so hot. You're not going to recover anything out of this. A lot of very wealthy homes, very wealthy areas are being burned. And there's all kinds of conspiracies and things that's being popped up from it. And, I think some of them are probably pretty legitimate. Some of them maybe not. And regardless of whether this fire it just happened, by chance and natural, ways, or it was purposely done, I would say it's going to be used. Don't let any good crisis go unused. So it's gonna be used for whatever reasons they want to use it for, but also just a distraction. There's just a lot of stuff going on. We're about ready to go through the transition of powers with a new president that has stopped talking about all the things that he talked about on a daily basis on the campaign trail. And now all he's talking about is basically conquering the Western Hemisphere and using actual military force against allies to take their land. I mean, this is different. I don't think there's been a president in my lifetime that's talked about this kind of stuff. And I've seen so many people that are saying, why? Yeah, you can sit there and make the argument of like, well, it's strategic for military, it's strategic for oil. That's not what I'm talking about. Why? Why all of a sudden? Why was this not talked about in the campaign trail if it's such an amazing thing to do? It's just all of a sudden now. Which that in itself, I think, is also a kind of a distraction. Because or at least at the very least, an indicator of where we're all going in this. I mean, you and I, for the most part, are along for the ride. That's why I keep telling you that you need to abandon ship now. The ship is going down. It's going to sink, okay? And you can get in those icy cold waters by your choice or by the ship sinking. And I think I'd rather jump in now. And so that's one of the reasons why I push everyone to abandon ship now. Break away from this failing civilization, and learn to do for your own. I know it's difficult. Every time I talk like this, I get tons of people in the comment section or emails or whatever saying, yeah, but that's nice for you to say that, but you just don't understand how hard it is to do that. Really? I'm not now and haven't been some ultra wealthy person that, was able to just snap my fingers and and go out and live in the country. Live simple, live self-sufficient. It's been a struggle, and it is for most people. I think it's a very rewarding one. And I think it'll pay off in the future when things get bad. But all of this stuff that's going on, and it's been, I just want everyone to just kind of pause for a moment, okay? You don't have to pause the video. I want you to just pause for a moment. And I want you to think back long time ago. I mean, we're gonna go back into the distant past of like 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, the big conversation was hundreds, with thousands of drones being flown all over the country. Things that couldn't be explained. Some of them didn't look like they came from any kind of earthly type of origin. We had the Pentagon saying that they weren't American drones, they weren't foreign drones, we didn't know what they were, all this kind of stuff. We've had very close on the brink of war in the Middle East, big time war. I mean, there is war, but I mean bigger. We've had the president pardoned his son, and supposedly all of these Epstein files were going to be released, and all this kind of stuff, and that's not happened. And I know that a lot of people believe it's going to happen with the Trump administration, and it might, but they're busy right now. They're busy buying up Greenland and taking over Panama and Canada, so that may just not happen right away. We'll see. There's been so much happen in the last several weeks. The last 3 months has been an absolute whirlwind, folks. And 2025 came in with a bang. I mean, crazy. And I just want you to think about it, the amount of stuff that's happening, and then try to convince me and yourself that nothing's going on. I know most of you don't think that, but there are some out there that still do. That nothing's going on. This is all normal. This is all okay. It's going to get better, here in like 10 or 11 days. Trump's going to take over, and we're all just going to be, frolicking through the wildflowers, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, because the world's going to just get better. Economy's going to fix itself. This H5N1 that we haven't heard about in a few days is going to go away. By the time the fires in California is over and we refocus to like the H5N1, it's probably going to just be everywhere. It'll be, oh my goodness, we all were focused on that, and now it is a pandemic. I mean, it's all going to be fine though. It's going to be fine here in just a week or two, and everything will, go back to normal, right? No, it's not. And it doesn't matter whether Trump is the greatest thing that we've ever had as a president or the worst thing. These events, this pattern, these things that are going on, they're not going to go away. And if you learn anything by watching all this stuff happen, you should learn that you cannot depend on others, and especially the government, to take care of you. You can't depend on them for your safety and security, for your livelihood, for your survival. We've got to do these things on our own. We've got to disconnect as much as possible. I know it's impossible to completely disconnect. I get it. But there are things that we can choose to have less of in our life, less control in our life. And whether you're doing it now or you're making plans, you're setting things up in your life so that it can happen at a later time, either way you need to be doing it, because I'm telling you, we don't have much time, I don't believe. I think things are falling apart. I think the landscape will look so dramatically different in the next 18 to 24 months. We're not even going to get recognized. This moment right now that you and I are in, when I'm talking to you and you're watching, is going to seem so distant in the past in just probably 18 to 24 months. Because so much is going to happen. And I don't know what else to say. We've got to get ready for it. This stuff that's going on in California, these fires, they are so devastating. And I believe that they are just a kind of looking in the looking glass, so to speak, of what the future is going to hold. I'm not saying that the country is going to literally burn in a wildfire, but the devastation, the rapid change, there's going to be similarities there, and you better start now. And if you've already started, you better kick it into high gear, because I think things are going to change rapidly. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.